Hello everyone, welcome to Pratibha Virtual Classes. Today we will learn about the C++ data types. In this session we will learn what is data types in C++, and what are the different data types available in C++. What is data type? A data type defines the set of values and the operations which can be performed on the data type. So we will define the data type as the data plus operations is equal to data type. Why do we need a data type? As we know that computer is just a machine. It cannot itself distinguish between the various types of data. That means it cannot distinguish if we enter the 10, that number 10 is the number, and if we type the letter P, it doesn't know is the letter and the word hello. Okay, for the computer, as the 10, P and hello are just the data. Okay, the programmer must tell the computer that 10 is a number, P is a character and hello is a word. How do we do it? By using the data types, we can classify the different data for the computer. By using these data types, we can classify the differentiation of the data for the computer. Data types in C++. Data type define the type of data a variable can hold. Variable is used to allocate the memory in the computer memory. For example, an integer variable can hold the integer data, character type variable can hold the character data. So, the data type specifies the size and type of information the variable will store in the memory. Manually, the data types in the C++ divided into three types. Those are the primitive data types, also known as the built-in or primary data types, and derived data types, and user-defined data types, these which are also known as the abstract data types. These are the data types defined in the form of picture. C++ data types divided into three types: built-in data types, user-defined data types, derived data types. User-defined data types are the structure, union, class and enumeration. Built-in data types are integral type, void and floating type. Integer type are again divided into int and char. Void type is the void only itself, and float type can be again categorized into float and double. Depends on its size. These can be of the float and double, which holds the float numbers. Okay, and derived types: array, function and pointer. These are the data types defined in the C++. First we will know about what are the primitive data types in the C++. These data types are the built-in or predefined data types, which means when this language is defined, the developers define these data types. So we call these as the predefined data types, and which can be directly by the user, can be used directly by the user to declare the variables. Okay, for example, int, char, float, bool, etc. are the primitive data types. And these data types are also called as the fundamental data types or basic data types. Okay, these are defined in the compiler. Okay, the different data types available in C++ are integer, character, boolean, floating point, double floating point and void, which is also known as the valueless. These are the primary or primitive data types. Okay, this is the int, which means the keyword or reservoir which is used to define the integer is the int, which allocates the size in the memory is 2 bytes or 4 bytes, which stores the whole numbers without the decimals. For defining the floating point, we need to use the float data type, which occupies the 4 bytes in the memory, which stores the fractional numbers containing 1 or more decimal. And the float data type is sufficient for storing the 7 decimal digits. And another data type is the double, which is also used to double floating point, which occupies the 8 bytes in memory. It also used to store the fractional numbers, which contains 1 or more decimals, and double is sufficient to store up to 15 decimal digits, as the float is for the 7 decimal digits and double is for the 15 decimal digits. To to define the character, we need to use the char data type, which occupies 1 byte in the memory. It stores the single character, either the letter or number, or which are in the form of ASCII values. Okay, and next type is the boolean values can be used to store the boolean data. For that, bool type is used, which occupies the 1 byte only. It stores the only 2 values, that is the true or false values, and another is to hold the empty, that is valueless. For that purpose, void data type can be used, which occupies 0 bytes. Void means nothing or no value. Okay, integer, which is defined using the keyword int. The compiler allocates 4 bytes of memory, that means 32 bits. 1 byte is reserved for storing the sign plus or minus. Okay, either the positive or for the specifying the negative number, plus and minus can be used. For that purpose, 1 byte is used. The range of integer values is this. And the example for this, int salary, which assigned the value 8760, which is the whole value. So int is used to hold the whole numbers. And character can be defined using the keyword char, and compiler allocates 1 byte of memory, that means 8 bits, and it is used to hold 1 character only. That character may be the alphabet or number or any special characters. And characters in the C++ enclosed inside the single quotes. The range of the character variable is -128 to +127, that is the 255 characters only. For example, char test is the variable name which holds the value single alphabet H. And next type is the float. These are the which is used to hold the real values in the C++, which refer the float values defined by using the keyword float, and compiler allocates 4 bytes of memory for it. The range of float is this, which is similar to the integer also, and float can store decimal numbers up to 6 or 7 decimal places. And next is the double, which is also used to define the floating numbers. The keyword double is used to define the double data type, and the all the scientific values in C++ are represented using the double data type. And compiler allocates 8 bytes of memory for it. It can store up to store a decimal numbers up to 15 decimal places. Here we specified the 10 decimal places, but it can hold up to 15 decimal places. Example, float area, which holds up to 6 or 6 decimal places. 1 place is for the decimal point, so 64.74. And double volume is the double type which holds 134.64534, which can use it to hold up to 10 or 15 decimal places. And next type is the bool, which is used to define the boolean values. It has the only 2 possible values to hold, that is the true or false. Bool keyword is used to define the boolean data type, and these are used in conditional statements and loops, which we will learn in later chapters. Okay, and next, for example, bool cond is the variable name which holds the value false. It can only holds the values true or false. And next is the void type. This is the keyword which indicates the absence of data, means nothing or no value. Generally, this is used for those functions which does not return a value. In those situations, we can use the void data type. And next is the data type modifiers. The modifier means which are used to alter the meaning of the base type. That means integer holds 4 bytes, float holds 4 bytes, double holds 8 bytes, char type holds 1 byte, like that. Okay, to modify the meaning of that base type, we need to use these modifiers. The data type modifiers are signed, unsigned, short, and long. By using these modifiers, we can change the base type's size. Okay, the modifiers signed, unsigned, long, and short can be applied to integer base types only. In addition, the signed and unsigned can be applied to char and long. Okay, for the integer we can use the 4 modifiers, and for the char and long can be applied to the double, signed and unsigned for the character. Okay, and long can be applied to the double. The modifier signed and unsigned can also be used as the prefix to long or the short modifier, like the unsigned long, unsigned, signed long, like that you can use. Okay, and C++ allows the shorthand notation for these. For declaring these, we simply use the word unsigned, short, or long without the int. Means instead of using the unsigned int, we can directly use the unsigned. Instead of specifying the short int, you can directly use the short. Also long int, instead of specifying long int, we can use the long. Okay, and when we are using unsigned, short, long, it automatically implies the int. Okay, these are the data types chart, which consists the data type, size, which is in bytes, and range. Short int, which occupies 2 bytes and its range is minus 32,768 to 32,767. Unsigned short int, which occupies 2 bytes, it occupies only positive values. Either in the short int it occupies the negative values also, but in the unsigned means no negation values, so it only holds for positive values. Unsigned int holds the 4 bytes whose range is 0 to some this number. Int occupies 4 bytes, its range is, it also holds the negative and as well as the positive values. Long int occupies 8 bytes whose range is similar to the int, and unsigned long int occupies the 8 bytes, its range is this, and long int occupies 8 bytes, it occupies minus 2 to the power of 63 to 2 to the power of 63 minus 1. Okay, it is the range. Unsigned long int 0 to some this number, and signed char holds the minus 128 to plus 127. It can hold the negative values. Unsigned char holds the 1 byte, occupies 1 byte and holds the values 0 to 255. Float occupies 4 bytes, double occupies 8 bytes, and long double occupies the 12 bytes of memory. Okay, and next is the user defined data types or abstract data types. Okay, the C++ allows the user to define his own data types. These are defined by the user itself, so we call these as the user defined data types. Like defining a class in the C++ or defining the structure is the user defined data types. The different user defined data types available in the C++ are structure, union, class, and enumeration. These are the different user defined data types available in the C++. These are also known as the abstract data types. Structure. Structures are used for grouping together elements of different types under a custom data type structure, and it is represented by a single structure name. Okay, we can also define the structure is the user defined data type which is defined by the user, which is used to group the different data type elements into the single name. Okay, this is defined by using the keyword structure name, and it consists the different data members that can be held in the specified like the block, the data type, data member 1. These data types may be the different data types, int, char, float, or any data types. Primary data types can be used to define these data members. For example, here we define the student info. Okay, for student can be defined. Student has the name, address, roll number, division, marks, like that. Here I define the different types. Struct student info name, whose size is 100. This is define the character, and character address, whose size is 100, and character division, whose size is 50, and a roll number, that is the int. Here we use the char and int data type. The different data types are grouped together to form the new or user defined data type, which is called the structure. Next is the union. Union serves the same functionality as that of the structure. Means union is similar to the structure. Ways union allows us to group together dissimilar type elements inside the single unit like the structure also. But the difference is the size of union is equal to the size of its largest member element. Okay, its size is it occupies the which is the largest member element in the data members, that can be the size of the entire union. The union is defined by using the union keyword, union name, and we can group the different data members, data type, data member 1 up to data member 2, data member n. For example, here you defining union student info, which consists the char name 100, whose size is 100, and character data type address 100, its size is also 100, char division 50, and int roll number integer occupies only 4 bytes. The char occupies 1 into 50 50, 1 into 100 100, 1 into 100 100. Largest elements are 2, that is the 100 data types. So entire the union occupies the 100 bytes memory in the computer memory. So largest member is the 100, so it occupies the largest member's size as its union size. As in the structure occupies, if this is the structure occupies the 100 plus 100 plus 200 plus 50, 250 plus 4, 254 bytes is occupied for the structure if it is defined by using the struct keyword. The wastage of memory is more in the structure comparing to the union. And next is the class. The building block of C++ which leads the object-oriented programming is the class. With the help of this new user-defined data type class, we can define the C++ program as the object-oriented programming, which is the user-defined type which holds its own data members and member functions, and which can be accessed by using the instance of that class, that is called the object. Okay, so a class is like a blueprint for an object. Okay, for example, this is the syntax for defining the class. Class is used to define the class keyword, and a class name, this is a user defined name. In the brackets you have to specify the access specifier. Always the access specifier may be the private or public or protected. And data members, in the place of data members we can define the variables which are used in this class, and member functions which are the methods to access these data members. And this is the end of the class with the semicolon. This is the syntax of the defining the class. This is the example for defining the class. Here we define the class hello. Class name is the hello. The modifier used public means the members with data members which are defined by using public can be used whole the class. Okay, and we are defined the one member, that is the type string, that is the name. Here we define the one member function, that is the print name, which is used to access the name data member. Cout name, it is displaying this data member, and the class is from here to here we are defined the class. In the main we are declared the object hello object1 dot name. Here we are accessing object obj1 is the object of the class hello. Okay, we are assigning for the data member name as the Pratibha virtual classes. Okay, and obj1 dot print name, which is accessing the member function, that means calling the function, it goes here and it displays the name, the what we are assigned Pratibha virtual classes, that is displayed in this. Okay, as in when we are executing this, it is displays the output like this. Okay, and next is the enumeration. Enumeration type help increase the readability of the code, which is used to assign names to the integers from the program. We can assign integers to the names of the program. These types are indexed from 0, resembling the indexing fashion of arrays. Okay, so indexing, when we are indexing, this is starts from the 0. It is defined by using the keyword enum, enumeration type name, and value 1, value 2, value 2, like this. We can assign the different values. If we does not assign the values, it takes like the 0, 1, 2 up to n. Okay, for example, here we defined enum days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as the month, to Wednesday. Okay, this is the enumeration data type days. Okay, in the main for int I is equal to month to Wednesday I plus plus. See out the I value. Monday is assigned the 0, and for the Tuesday 1, and for the Wednesday it assigns 1. When we are printing the value of I in the I, it starts with Monday, that is the 0, so it displays the 0, and after that it goes to the next, that is the Tuesday, that is the value 1, and next is the Wednesday up to 2. Okay, this is the example of using the values, indexing the names with the numbers. And next is the derived data types. The derived data types are derived or formed from the built-in data types or primary data types. The data types which are derived from the primary data types are called the derived data types. The different data types, derived data types available in the C++ are arrays, functions, and pointers. Array is the linear data structure which is used to store the elements in contiguous memory locations. And array can also be defined as the array is the data structure which is used to hold the homogeneous element, means same type of elements can be grouped by using the single data type name. Okay, this is defined by using the syntax data type, any primary data type, and array name. Within the square brackets you have to specify the size of that array. How many data type of elements can be using to group, those that is specified with the help of size. For example, here we are defining int main. Int is a data type are defined. 4 different integers are grouped into the ARR as the array type. And here again defining integer sum and assigned with the value 1. Cout, enter the elements. For int I is equal 0, always the array index is, array size is, if the size is n, it holds the values up to 0 to size minus 1, that is n minus 1. Okay, array members are accessed by using the its indexes. Always its index starts with 0, 0, 1, 2 up to size minus 1. Size is 4, so 0, 1, 2, 3 can be of its indexes. By using those indexes we can access those elements. Okay, we are reading the array elements, array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, array of 3. Okay, 4 elements are reading and displaying. Okay, this is the array size, and we are summing those elements and see out addition of elements here. Enter the elements. When we are executing this, enter. For array of 0 we are enter 10, array of 1 we are 20, array of 2 30, array of 3 40. So 4 elements are entered. When we are adding the elements, it is for I to 0, 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 is added and displays the addition of elements as the 100 as the its output. This is the example of using the array. And next is the function. Now, another user defined data type is the function, and functions are the block of statement which particularly perform a set of tasks under it, and which the function make the code more efficient and readable. Okay, functions can also be defined as the subprograms. By using the functions we can divide the large programs into number of blocks by using different functions. This can be defined by using the data type, function name and arguments. And this is the syntax of defining the functions. Okay, and function have the body. Okay, here we defining the function int sum, which is the return type is the integer, function name is the sum, which is taking the 2 integer as its arguments. Okay, here we declare the sum and assigned with the value 0. Sum is equal to a plus b, which are the values passed when we are calling this function a and b. Those are added and assigned to the value sum, and it returns the summed value sum into as the called statement. Okay, here we declare the two variables a and b. These a and b are local to this function, which can be used within this. Okay, and here we are using int result. Result is used to store the result of the sum function. Here we are calling sum, and a and b values 20 and 40 are values are passing here, calling function passing as arguments here. The value passed a, that is 20 to this a and 40 to this b, and when we are adding that, it result is this 20 plus 40 is added into the sum, returned sum 60 is returned, which is stored in the result, that is displayed by using the result of addition as the 60. The output of this function is like this. And next is the pointers. Another derived data type is the pointers. Pointer types represents the address of the data members. Pointer is the data type which is used to holds the address of the another data member to which they points. Okay, its data syntax is data type and asterisk and variable. Okay, which is used to hold the address of same data type which is it declared. Here we are declaring the integer value and it is assigned the value 60. Int star p, this is used to hold the integer variable's address. The how many integers also, for that purpose only we can hold the one integer pointer variable, and ampersand is used to display the address of that memory variable. Okay, p is equal to, p is the pointer, so which holds the address of integer. Which integer? Here we have only value as the integer type, value of the address that can be accessed by the ampersand symbol which is assigned into the p. When we are displaying cout p, it displays the address of this p in the memory. Cout value, val is the variable which has the value 60, so it displays 60. Cout star p is equal to star p. What is the star p? Star p consists in that address, what is the value of that star p? 60, so it is displayed like this. Output is displayed by using the pointer. So pointers are used to hold the address of the same type element. Okay, and these topics are after different videos we can learn in detail: pointers, arrays, structures, unions. Okay, and another type is the type def. Okay, this is in C++ allows us to define explicitly new data type names by using the keyword typedef. So using the typedef, we can define the new data class for the existing type. Okay, this is not the new data class which is used to define a name for the existing type. For example, the use of typedef can make the code easy to read and also easy to port to a new machine. This can be used by syntax typedef type name. Here type may be the any data type and a name for the data type. For example, typedef float balance. Instead of using float, you can use the balance as its def. When we define the variables by using the balance, those become the float variables. Okay, here is the example by using the typedef. Here we define the typedef unsigned char as the byte. Instead of every time typing the unsigned char, we can use the byte as the data type. Void main byte b1 b2. Here the b1 b2 are the two unsigned character variables which, okay, and b1 is assigned the c. Okay, it displays which displays the value c. Here is the another example. Here we define the typedef int as the score. Instead of using int, you can use the score to define the new integer variables. Okay, int s1 s2 is similar to the score s1 s2. Here score is the another name for the integer data type. S1 is equal to 80 cout, and here we are using the displaying the here it must have the s1, it is displays the 80. Okay, this is the example of using the typedef. So typedef is used to define the new data, new names to the existing data types. As in the summary, in this video we learn what is the data type. Data type is used to specify the type of the data to the compiler. Different data types available in the C++ are primary data types, user defined data types, and derived data types. Primary data types are directly used in the program. These are defined in the compiler. And user defined data types are the data types which are defined by the user. Okay, derived data types are formed by using the primary data types into single group. And typedef is the data, this is the new type which is used to define the new name to the existing data types. Thank you, one and all.